Hello, my beautiful Virgos. How are you? I hope you're doing well. This is CJ. Welcome to the Moon Supply Company. I'm going to cleanse your space here. While we're doing this, I just want to let you know this is for the full moon, January 17th, 2022, in Cancer. 6:48, I believe, Eastern time. So please check that for your independent time zones. This is a time of healing, since it's in Cancer, healing, love, emotions, releasing what doesn't serve us for our highest good on a full moon anyway, but in particular in Cancer, to pay attention to that. You might want to look where Cancer is in your birth charts. That might help you. If you have any placements in Cancer, what houses those are in, because it'll tell you what areas of your life you need to release. In the meantime, this is a general reading. It won't be for everybody. I do keep our moon readings in moon energy and the energy around us, as opposed to specific career or money. We're all dealing with so many things. And yes, those are the two biggest things in our lives, but there's so much more, especially around a full moon. And a full moon, no less, that is in Mercury retrograde, right? And Venus retrograde. I think we'll be in Venus retrograde until the end of January. A fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries. Woo! Looks fun. Be either way. Passion. Maybe you've achieved a goal. Any number of things. Because also full moons are fulfillment and achievements of what your intentions were when you set them back in 2021 in the new moon in Cancer. So you could be looking at some of those things finally coming to fruition. You could also be looking at letting go of things, because this fiery climax approaches, or that job, scholarship, college, graduation, whatever, it could be a number of things. Thank you. Your commitment is being tested. The first quarter moon. Actually, we're in the first quarter moon now when I'm doing these readings, so be the first quarter of any moon cycle, but this is what, the message. Okay. You can also look for the moon signs at those times for further information if you have like a calendar that has the moon cycles, and if there's dates on there that you have things planned. Believe in the impossible with the blue moon. How fabulous. I love that. Okay, so this is the Moonology deck with our full moon messages. What we're going to do now is we're going to expand that energy with the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards. We're going to hear what the oracles have to say to us. This is our Jenny Florence deck. I love using this deck with my new full moon energies. It really expands the energy in a generic way, as I said, because this isn't this isn't love or finance specifically, but you could be dealing with those energies around you. So, how are my Virgos? Everybody good? Okay. Let's see what we have. This is a fairly big deck, and it's hard for me. Saying yes. What? Look at that positivity. Number 66 there for you to look up spiritual angel number meanings. Let's see if we pull any other sixes. Ooh, 666 does not mean what everybody thinks it does. Go look it up. It's a beautiful balance number. Oh, Angel, like I said, you guys are wanting to jump out here. Sorry if I hit the camera. If you have any Leo in you, this is fiery. It keeps jumping out at me. Believe in yourself. You are important. Where your commitment is being tested. And we'll get into those meanings in just a minute. I'm going to pull these out. Wow. Learning to say no and course correct and believe in the impossible. Interesting. Okay. Let's take a peek at these energies and see. And we will clarify further with the dreams of Gaia. But for right now, we're looking at the energies of the moon and the messages. So we have a fiery climax approaches. It's our first energy with that Aries. And this like popped out at me. Yes. What are you waiting for? The answer to your question is yes. So whatever you put forth in this time frame, or you have coming to an end that you need to make a decision on, yes, 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 yes. Say yes. Here's something I've learned to do, because I'll have a tendency to be like, well, and I'm always with hesitating. The first thing that comes into my mind is I say yes. In the appropriate situation, I should say. I say yes to anything that is of a potential new adventure for me. And then I work out the pieces and see if it's worth continuing. Because I feel like by saying no, I'm blocking anything that might be coming to me. Now, if I'm in a situation where I'm being confronted or I have to make a decision, then I will sit with myself and find that decision. And I am not afraid to say no, because saying no sometimes is a yes. And it is a choice that I'm making for my truth, my higher self, and for the good of all that are around me. So, I try and take life on with a big yes. That has always been a goal. Jump down. You know why I say this? They just showed me this picture of me jumping into this. I was in Honduras. And I was on the top of this waterfall, and there was this small pool below it. And the guides who had us, they had us walk under this waterfall, and you could go into this tiny little cave that was there. Do not be claustrophobic going into that, because it was not fun. And the waterfall was coming down upon you. You had this rope you had to walk, because you literally could not see. So you're holding on to this rope. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe I'm doing this. But I said yes. Now, I have a fear of heights. I have vertigo. I am claustrophobic. I mean, goodness gracious, there's some things that I'm dealing with, right? So I'm holding on. I'm getting under this. I say yes. So then they take us up to the top of this trail. And at the top of the trail, you can jump into this small pool. Honestly, I think it was as big as my altar table here. It's what it felt like coming from above at this highest peak. And I'm with a bunch of other people, and they're like, nope, walking down, nope, walking down. And I was like, yes. I had a leap of faith. I took the jump, and the net caught me. I landed in the space where it was the deepest, and the guide is like splashing water, like this is where you're going to aim to. And you know what? It was one of the greatest adventures of my life that I would have missed out on if I had allowed any of my little phobias keep me. So there's an example of saying yes. Now, it's extreme, and I appreciate my guide showing that to me. But yeah, I think you get it. It could be a small invitation. Maybe you've been home forever and things are starting to open up and somebody calls you and you're hesitant. Say yes. Because, you can be cautious. You can wear masks. You can do what you need to do. But, you might be missing out on something you really, really enjoy, right? Say yes to a new job if you're looking for that opportunity. Say yes to that online date. Say yes to play with your kids. Oftentimes we get busy and we're in our world, and I never regretted saying yes to my daughter to go out and play in the water or the sand or the park or any of those things. Now, as she's a grown woman, I think back on those, and those are my most favorite memories. So, universe is saying yes as this this fiery climax, climby. I still have that trail hike in my head. Whatever you're climbing, spirit guides are like, all right, we've had enough of that. With the climbing, life is a climb. Yes, I get it. Life is a climb. And sometimes we have to jump off the cliff. in a safe way, obviously. Anyhow. Yeah, that's my Sag, fieriness, my adventure. Some of you will be like, what? Your commitment is being tested. Okay. Believe in yourself. You are important. You are important. You are lovable. You are special. You are a unique and extraordinary person. Wherever you've come from, whatever has happened to you in the past, it's time to let go of any negative perceptions that you may carry about yourself. Believe in yourself. Your commitment is being tested. And here we have believe in the impossible. I almost want to feel like these cards were switched, but we're going to read the energies as they are, and I'll move them around as we need to. You have 4 and 4 here, learning to say no and believe in yourself. And this can be something that goes together. As I said, sometimes saying no is a yes. Learning to say no, right there. Saying no is an act of love. When we say a healthy no to an abusive situation, whether this is in response to another person or to ourselves, we are setting limits and establishing healthy boundaries. A healthy no is saying yes to life. Give yourself permission to say no. Yeah, for sure. Believe. And you have 4 and 4 here, 31 and 4. Wow. Don't doubt yourself. Even if your commitment is being tested, if someone's saying, hey, are you really into this? Are you whatever? You're feeling pressured and it's not something you have the heart for anymore, say no. I have pulled myself out of so many commitments prior to our pandemic, but certainly through the pandemic, it showed me the things that really meant something to me and things that I was doing out of feeling of obligation and service. And the service that I felt, after I spent some time away from it, I realized that it wasn't serving anyone because my heart wasn't in it. And so to do things of service in the way that are true to me have been far more authentic. And that's definitely one of the things I'm feeling here. Your commitment in a relationship, if this is your relationship and you're being told, hey, are you on, are you off, are we in, are we out, or what are we doing here? You're moving in, whatever it might be. And you are debating, should I do this? Is this the best? Am I taking care of myself? Is this the safe thing? Believe in yourself that you can do whatever you want. You can be independent. You can go wherever you want, live wherever you want. Making those choices that are reasonable for you and your family and your situation. Don't let anyone pressure you into it. Like if someone is testing you on your commitment to something, maybe it's also in a workspace where you're on a team and you're really not jiving with the people on your team. You might need to ask to be reassigned, because it's just not using your skill set to the best of your ability and that for the team. Maybe you have an idea that's different than them. And you can tell them, no, this is the direction you should be going into. It's so ambiguous in a way, and so I know that can be frustrating, but in a general reading where you might need to go check your rising, your moon, your Venus, because I generally read for sun, moon, rising, and Venus, and then also check a north or south node to see life path and also what you're releasing. In this full moon, we are releasing a lot. Just, it is what it is. The light shines, big full moon shines on all that borrowed sunlight on the items and things that we need to release, let go of, or complete. That is a full moon in and of itself, right then and there. You need to know nothing else. Now you can take that and you can apply it with little rays from the moon as to what's that shining on? What are those areas in my life? I feel a great empowerment. This Aries and just the yes and learning to say no. This, for Virgo, you are in a place of great empowerment. Personally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, whatever it may be for you. Wow, it's strong. I have the song playing and the spirit guides are just playing. I Am Woman. It's an old song, and I think I want to equate some. You can probably listen to a Beyonce song that was from. I'm a Survivor. What is that? I think it was Charlie's Angels movies. But this is an old song, I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar. I think it's from the 70s. It was probably part of the women's movement back, the women's movement has never died, but when it was very, very strong and the feminists were coming out, there were certain songs about Helen Reddy. Thank you. Helen Reddy. Boy, that's an old song. And woman in the sense that there's a male energy here. Strong action, Aries, Mars, the god of war, action, moving forward. There's a lot of male energy here. The female energy is here in this learning to say no and believing in yourself. right? And you are important. A lot of times divine feminine energies will do what's best for all, and they subjugate themselves. In this case, the male energy is here. Tap into your divine feminine and course correct. Yeah. Yep, you can do it. And it's not gender specific. We're talking energies, right? What masculine energy represents, what female energy represents. You know, that masculine go, go, go. It's very empowering energy, like boss king energy here. And your Cancer, here we are in the Cancer, full moon, and these feminine intuitive energies that are coming out saying, believe in yourself and learn to say no, and course correct, believe in the impossible. If an obstacle or diversion has interrupted your plans, this card is here to assure you that the delay is providential, bringing you an opportunity to pause and reassess in order to fine-tune your direction. This commitment being tested. You've been going in a direction and moving in a direction, whatever that direction is, whether it's love, job, family, life itself. And this energy here is reminding you to pause, believe in yourself, say no when you need to, and correct whatever you need to correct. It's beautiful with these cards because it can be so open for you, and I don't have to dictate, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. So everyone can pick up on that affirmation that they need from the full moon. And your anchor card here with believing in the impossible, the blue moon, is just wonderful. We should all be believing in the impossible every day. Because when we believe in the impossible, we create the impossible. Now I'm going to clarify and see if we can get some specificity from the Dreams of Gaia. In general, these cards I use because of the fact that they have additional archetypes. Their messages aren't always exact to the traditional tarot, so it gives you an alternative view. And also there's life path in here, that life path energies, stages of life. Thank you. That, Four of Pentacles. Wow. And in this, you see the reflection in the mirror, someone looking at themselves. Four of Pentacles can be... or Four of Water in this case. Excuse me. All right, let me back up. Gosh, I'm seeing things in my eyes and not what's physical. So there's something there for someone else. But Four of Cups, here we go again, with the fours. Cup energy, water energy. Normally, Four of Cups would be some kind of a dissatisfaction with your life, looking at your life, reevaluating things. Does that man look like he's reevaluating anything? No, that spirit, that energy is really coming from a place of love and appreciation. And I will read you the bullet points on this card. You'll see the crab on the front of his head, not only water, but also Cancer sign there, Four of Cups. Another four. Four are foundational numbers. Fours are archangels. So go and look at the repeating fours. You have 444 here just right now. Look at this. 10 of fire. So yeah, again with that Leo energy, if you happen to have that next to your, if you're a cusp, you might want to check into that reading. Nine of Swords, which would be considered Nine of Swords, but this is Nine of Air. Does not mean the same thing. I will share that with you. And I'm just going to pull one more card because I have four for all, so I'm going to get the fourth card here. These energies come out and they have been and you have more. Oh my gosh, get three more. Okay, Virgo. Child. This is that believe in the impossible. Anything can happen. New beginnings. It can physically mean there's a child in your life. Maybe you're having to say no to a child. If you're a parent, you've been taking care of someone who's been home, it's time to kick them out or move or just, be a parent and say, no, you cannot do this. This is, this is why this is not a good thing for you. I never said you cannot do something to my daughter, because Scorpio, she would have turned around just on it right away, let alone kids in general. The minute you say no, they want to go after it. But there are times where you have to sit down and explain the reasons for things, and this is why you advise against this course of action. And your kids might be, able to handle that kind of conversation. Some are not, some are. You know your child better than anyone. But I know my daughter, I had to sit and give her the the ramifications of everything before she made the decision. So that's what popped out there. But ultimately, this is a new beginning. This is like the ace in any suite that comes down. New beginning, joy, birth, Empress energy, believing in the impossible. Gorgeous. Self. There's a lot of self here. And the Sage, 7, wisdom. You know, learning, knowing, using the past experience. You're working on a great amount of self, knowing who you are, what is important to you. You are important to you. Let's move this up a little bit. If I'm bothering you, I apologize. I just want to see all the cards. You are important to you. Knowing yourself is the hardest thing to do. We've all gone through dark nights of the soul, shadow periods. If we've been extremely honest with ourselves, we know the things that we would like to change, that we're working on. And I'm not talking physically, I'm talking about emotionally, subconsciously, habits. We have to unlearn past lives, things that have just clicked with us and we just can't get rid of them, and we have to work through them so that in our next iteration, when we come back again, should we choose to, when our energy is looking for a vehicle, if you're looking to come back and reincarnate, and this is extremely in a different direction, that you don't have to live that again. Right? So many people try and work this out and attempt to work this out in this lifetime. So in their later lives, they're not repeating these cycles. They're not repeating this karma, as we want to throw that on there. Could be learned behaviors. It could be ancestral behaviors. It could be familiar bonds, and the fact that the family's always like, nope, our family doesn't do that. We're not those people. We can't do this. You know, those type of conversations. You're correcting them through your entire life. And so there's an inner speak that is learned that you have been spending time on releasing. And if not, you're being called to release it, to come back to self. Learning the wisdom that you've gathered through your lifetime with the Sage, or seeking out a person who you consider very wise to help you in this conversation that you're having with yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, friend, uncle, aunts, human resources, whatever it might be. There's someone there, and it could be you. You just need to tap into your wisdom. Come to yourself, regain your empowerment here in this feminine energy. Right? Look at this card. Like this 10 of fire. Is this not everything that speaks of Aries, Leo, and Sag and the fire elements? But to me, this really is Aries. I mean, we are looking at Mars, the god of war, passion, just like, here I am. All chakras align. This is just like, press the button, boom, we're going. So let's read this, the 10 of fire for you and what this means. You know, I noticed that my speech is more animated, and I'm jumped up, and I'm, I'm like, I'm ready to go run a marathon just from the energy from these cards. Okay. This is doing. This is action. This is self-mastery. Mastering evolution, enlightenment, light work, light being, discipline. Not only will that fiery, or fiery, if you like to say it that way, I have a friend of mine who calls it fiery, this fiery conclusion approaches. It is the action button here in the course correct. You are important, and saying no. Saying yes. This is a yes card. That 10 of fire. Now, normally 10 of wands is the end of carrying a long burden. You know, 10s become ones. One. You know, new beginnings. We have done what we had to do, a fight, something, whatever it might be, internal strife, thoughts have come to an end, and we're starting anew. Here, it's also get moving, you know, Get that mastery for yourself. You can do anything you set your mind to. Anything. Discipline and dedication. Stop making excuses and act. That's some pretty strong energy. That's why I feel like super empowered, like I'm just going to go out and, take on the world there. Now with the Nine of Swords, again, which you would normally think with the Nine of Air being too much in your head, you've been battling, you can't get out of your own mind, coming to the end of a battle. This is self-awareness. Look how soft and gentle this card is. Self-awareness, universal consciousness, understanding, insight, vision, imagination, fantasy, and creativity. Here's your new beginning. Believe in the impossible. I love this deck for this because it reiterates this energy and not in the way you would normally. As soon as you see a 10 of Wands and a 9 of Air, you're like, oh, great. Great. Right? That's the immediate reaction. Not with this deck. With this deck, you're getting a card that all that exists was first imagined. So believe in whatever that impossible dream is for you, because that's how you get there. You be open to possibility. You were born to create. Right? Fantasy is the birthplace of reality. I like when we get these history things or even pop culture, and they show you old world's fairs, or like they use Back to the Future a lot with things that were envisioned in Back to the Future and what has actually come to fruition. In all things, if somebody doesn't think it, it doesn't become. If somebody doesn't get the download from the universe or tap into that collective universal divine energy from Mother Earth or from, your spiritual guides, it doesn't happen. Trial and error, yes, but where do you start? Like it all starts with the thought. And in this sign, you're getting the universal thought, believing in the impossible for that new beginning. And finally, for our cups energy, I'll read you the Four of Water. Yep, sorry, people are outside, so if you hear that, my apologies. Right here, right now. This is what I'll pull final messages from the angels and ancestors, but this is so important with these fours. Confidence, awareness, self-acceptance, forgiving, self-belief, deserving, receptive. You are beautiful. Be aware of your weaknesses, but focus on your strengths. A mistake is just that. It's an opportunity to learn. Let go of the ideal of perfection. Love yourself for who you are. Believe in yourself. You could not get a more perfect card and a more perfect energy to work with those messages. Virgo, wow. Oh, my bad, my book. Sorry. So I'm going to pull final messages from the angels and the ancestors as if they need to add anything to this amazing reading for your full moon energy. Thank you. See your seeds grow. There you go, right there. Plant the seeds. Believe in the impossible. The new beginning is here. The universal divine consciousness is here to help you create. Intend and create with the high priest. Wow. Final messages for my lovely Virgos. Okay. Of course, one would go flying. Hang on while I get these. Where are you? There you are. Sorry, gang. Disrupt the apple cart here. All right, here we go. This is the first one that fell out. Be graceful in movement and action. Be graceful in movement and action. All this fiery energy And the feminine energy here, even though it's represented by the Shaolin master here, there is grace. There is grace in this. This is the feminine energy. We do not need to bowl through. We do not need to say things that are going to upset people. We do not need to explain ourselves. Yell, scream. If you're called to it, you're called to it, but we don't have to do that. We know. We come from such an inner place of strength in knowing ourselves. That's pretty deep there. Lady, enjoy growth and reap rewards. Growth in many ways. This lady is very much an abundance card. If this was a finance reading, I would be like, yep, you're coming into the money. In this case, enjoy growth. Growth in what? Growth in all things, spiritually, self, new beginnings, belief in all things. This goes along with the intend and create and see your seeds grow. This is all with this outcome. So with the 3 cards with the energy, we're pretty much dealing with current energies and what we're working with, any challenges that we might be facing, and the outcomes, right? So this is giving you that energy right now. Enjoy that growth. Reap the rewards of the change that you make happen, the action that you take, saying yes, and moving forward in a very powerful way. That's pretty amazing. Well, Virgo, I hope you liked this reading. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. In the meantime, I send you abundant blessings. Stay well. Bye for now.